My mother is incredibly warm and incredibly sentimental. Growing up, we'd had every Sunday, we did Sunday family dinners. She'd be cooking, listening to Greek music in the kitchen, and I would be doing homework nearby. And that's, to me, quintessentially what it was like in the Kessler household growing up.
There's the public Lexi, there's the person that's out there networking that's really made a name for herself. Then there's the personal Lexi, a wonderful mother, daughter, daughter-in-law, of course, wife, but also a very good friend. She knows exactly when somebody comes over, what kind of wine they like, what kind of food do they seem to lean toward or something like that. But she just remembers those little pieces, and that's part of who she is.
I think a lot of the sides that people see of her is, busting her butt and making sure everything gets done. But I also think there's a side to her that is super fun. If we go on a family trip, my mom and I will go out for a nightcap and enjoy sort of a new city or, getting into trouble together. So there is a really fun side to her where she's able to sort of be a kid again and let loose. I think that's a side that a lot of people may not see about her, but is definitely there.
My name is Lexi Kessler. I'm a CPA and CGMA. I'm a partner with APRIO, and I'm the incoming chairman of the board for the AICPA and the association. So I was always afraid of public accounting and the hours and having a family and being able to balance that. And what I learned was really just taking a year at a time because the needs are different. And I was pretty good at putting up barriers when I needed to and being flexible also. And what was really cool was one year I came home and my kids were like jumping up and down and they were all excited. They were little and they were like, Mommy, guess what? I go, what? And there's a show on PBS called Arthur. And like, Arthur's mommy has tax season 2. And I was like really cool then, it was awesome. But we really integrated it. I think having this amazing partner with my husband was just, I'd be at work and we would meet at restaurants or he would take the kids to do something and we'd meet up and it just made it very easy for me to try to balance the two. And it was really important. I think I learned I was a better mother by working. I think I paid attention to them more when I wasn't home because I had this thing that fulfilled me. And at least I'd like to think I was. Let's see what they say. But, I've said many times that my favorite job number one job is being a mom. And it still is. My second favorite job is being a CPA. And I think that a lot of the traits of being a mom you could bring both pieces in. Because I say I have 2 families. I've got my home family and I've got my work family. And relationships are really important and critical. And I think that no matter what life throws at you, those relationships get you through it. I never changed firms. I've been with the same firm, which I think is an anomaly today. But the firm changed. That was, I think, the reason I was able to stay with it. And it went through a lot of tough spots. I'm not going to lie. It was some real challenges along the way. And I was growing in my responsibilities also. And I was bucking the system because I was the one that wasn't hanging out on the weekends at the office. That's not what I did. I was hanging out with my family or I was going to wherever it was.
Does that feel like leadership?
I think so. I think it was giving people permission that it was okay. And I think for men, one of the things I said many years ago was that men would kind of sneak out to go coach the kids' team, right? Because they want people to know that they're leaving early. And I'm like, let people know that you're doing that. I think it's just really important for people to see that they can have both. Being diagnosed with breast cancer and going through treatment was not an easy thing. And it taught me to give myself grace, which was not an easy thing to do. But there's silver linings. I said, with any challenge in life, there's silver linings. When I went in for my first treatment, I was getting texts and emails from my coworkers saying, you got this, and they're taking care of everything in tax because it was busy season. And my family was just there for me. I'm going to get emotional. They were there for me. I think it brought our family closer. It was for me. And understanding what's important in life. I think with leadership, you tend to allow others to have the grace, but not yourself. You're much harder on yourself because you put that pressure on yourself to be there for other people, to be there as a mom, to be there as a wife, to be there as whatever. And to say it's okay to take a step back was a really hard thing to do, but it was also liberating to know that it's okay to do that. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of being a human being. Leading through change is bringing grace to that situation because you're giving everybody permission to take a step back and let's figure this out. But it's something where it's okay to have this anxiety. It's okay to not agree. But being able to have that conversation to try to figure out what the right answer is, I think that's grace in allowing others to express their opinions. Well, I think right now in our profession, there's a significant amount of change that's happening. It's happening as far as the creation of new pathways to CPA, and that's going to create some disruption. But to be at the forefront of it is wonderful and actually quite educational as far as the ecosystem of our profession. I also think technology is really changing how we do what we do. What's different is how fast that's happening. And that, I think, gives certainly our profession this world of opportunity. People come to us when there's disruption in business. We are a trusted profession. We are the most trusted profession. And with that comes a responsibility and a very exciting opportunity to make a difference.
To have a Maryland CPA representing our profession, just not nationally but internationally, is a really proud thing for MACPA and for our members and the profession in Maryland. If she was from anywhere else, I think I would just be just as excited because she is that type of person that I want to see leading our profession.
Lexi is an asset to the entire profession, and she's been passionate about the CPA profession from day one. So she's been actively involved as a volunteer, in the community, in all of her various roles. And that's why she's so special as a leader now. When we think of our volunteer leaders at the AICPA and even in the state societies, you want people who are exemplary, that they're living what it means to be a certified public accountant in today's world. And that means they have to have strong ethics, they have to be good leaders, and they have to care about the community in which they're practicing and serve. And she recognizes all of that.
Congratulations, Lexi. I think we all saw this coming at some point because of the type of leader that you are. And we are so proud and so excited for you and for the future of our profession because of your leadership.
Lexi, congratulations. You're going to do great, and we're very excited to have you as the next chair of the AICPA and CIMA.